Okay, let me just start by showing you the model number of this one. If you've worked with these sort of TVs before, well, maybe you can help me diagnose it. Pouring down outside, real miserable day. Not cold, just wet and windy, miserable. And this got caught in 20 seconds of rain. Now, most of you are aware that I'm pretty much upfront and honest about my costs and charges. A lot of people have said I'm way too cheap and surprised I haven't gone bankrupt. Well, so am I. But anyway, and after my last video, you're probably aware that I've taken on far too much work and maybe I'm doing it a bit cheap. But the title that says there's no such thing as a £30 repair, I've actually stolen that from Michael Dranfield, who's another TV repair guy. Go and check him out. Michael Dranfield is his name. Tends to work on the older sets and a lot of the CRT stuff. But I think he's the same age as me. I think so. I think he's 61. But he started much earlier than me. He started with the TVs in the 70s and the 80s, where I started much later. Well, I only started really about 9 or 10 years ago. But anyway, Michael's always stated, whenever I talk to him, we talk on the phone from time to time, that there's no such thing anymore as a £30 repair. And that's resonated with me. And I thought, yes, very true. But when the customer brought this TV to me, he had a budget in mind of £50. Now, a customer is allowed to have a budget in mind, but of course that doesn't mean it's going to get repaired for that. The only reason I took this TV in is because I've got several of these in the lockup, so if this doesn't work, I'll sell him one for 50 quid. You know, that'll make me some beer money for the week. Well, sorry, for a day. But this is an old-fashioned CCFL tube set. And he says it's got sound and no picture. So we'll plug it in and have a look. If there's a tube gone, nothing much that can be done. There's a chance that maybe there's a capacitor on the inverter output which has failed. It sends 24 volts to the inverter, then the inverter obviously inverts it to thousands and boosts up the tubes. But if there's a tube gone, nothing that can be done. If it's an inverter board that's gone short somewhere, maybe I can find a cheap one online. But this is one of those TVs. I took this in before I made the decision of no more sets. And if this had arrived today, I would have probably said, I'm sorry, no. Because this is the type of set that the customer will leave with you and expect you to take it to the recycling centre. And I'm full up. But let's just plug it in and have a look and see what it does. Look, I've got a brand new lead to test it with because I'm being lazy and I can't find my old ones. I'll set the camera up, then we'll switch it on. It's in standby at the moment and we'll see if we get a little flash out of it. Maybe we will, don't know. But we'll have a look. Well, yeah, we get the chime. What chime is it? About 2:30. I can't see any. I've just pressed the menu button and I can't see anything, but I'll take his word for it. I'm sure he said he did a torch test and could see something. Let's take the back off and see if it's anything obvious first. Then I'll do some voltage checks. I'll check to see if there's any shorts on the inverter board. After that, nothing much we can do. It is of that age. I almost turned around to him and said, you know, this is a 20-year-old TV. And It's time to upgrade, sir. All the screws are out. Hey! Keep that in. If there is going to be a problem, the problem's going to be either up here, around the double choke. Those capacitors used to go faulty, and they used to cause problems. And of course, that does send out the voltage to the inverter board, which is over here. But I'm just going to take that inverter board off as well and have a look. Sorry, you really have to be careful with job factors, because you can just get towed away with the romance of it all, and then you spent 5 or 6 hours on it. But I've had a good look round. It's looking like this board's been worked on before. There's been a break in a trace, and you can see someone's put a wire across. There's been a break in the trace there that someone's repaired. But I'm just going to have a closer look at all these traces and just see if there's anything else. There's a couple of things that don't look great. But as I say, after that, I've got a couple of these in the lockup, and I'll just, throw this in the lockup and let him have one of the other ones. There's one thing I'm very confused about, and this is always the problem when you're coming in after someone's done some work on the board. But somebody has done a link wire, as you can see. So we've gone from there to there. But also on that line, if you follow the trace down, it goes to this jumper. And it's not getting to that jumper. I'm just going to re-establish that link just to see if that changes anything. I don't think it can be the fault that I've got. And this is a problem with this game. I'm now playing with probably a different fault. But I'll try this, and then I'll move on to the next thing. So that connection is back. There's a lot of corrosion on this board. In fact, I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean. There's more than you'd expect to see. Yeah, hello. We had a slight power cut then, but I think it was something I was doing that tripped off the mains. But it didn't trip off the mains here, it tripped off the mains in the house, which was a bit strange. I think this gentleman's diagnosis is completely wrong. And this is what I think, for what it's worth. He says he's seeing an image on the screen. I've looked, and I've pressed the menu buttons, and I've got a torch, and I can't see anything. The screen's a bit filthy. So I think he may have been saying shadows of dirt. I'm going to give that one more go. I think the mainboard has failed. I don't think there's an image. And of course, it is the mainboard that's responsible for turning on the backlights. And that's where I think lies the issue. I think it's a mainboard problem. But I'm not sure it's worth spending any time and money on this. If I'm being honest, it's a nice set, but it's just of that age. What's going to go wrong next? Am I going to get blamed for it? Possibly not. I do know the guy. But I think this mainboard's... The voltages on the power supply are there. And the voltage is getting over to the mainboard. I'm going to clean the screen one more time. The trouble is with these jobs, you just don't let them go. I'm going to clean the screen and just see if I see an image. There's something there. I can see it, yeah. There it is. You can probably see the icon flicking around. Okay. So my diagnosis was wrong. There is an image there. And it is something to do with the backlights. I'm guessing a tuber's gone and there's just nothing much I can do. The only thing I can do with this is turning it into an LED set. Oh, don't get me started. I've got too much on to do something like that, to be honest with you. I have got too much on. But that's not to say I'm not going to do it. I might make it a Christmas Day project or something, you know. Let me know what you think in the comments, but I think that's as far as I can go with this one. But I've got 2 or 3 of these in the lockup. I just have one.